Okay guys, so right now we're gonna work on triggers and rigging our character. All right, so we'll be going back and forth with Adobe Character Animator and Adobe Photoshop. We'll be switching the programs a lot, okay, because as you have known that we are using a Photoshop base file and we can edit, place our edits and so on, and it will seamlessly go into Character Animator. Okay, so let's just go into that. Okay guys, so now we are greeted with our character here, George, and if you notice that George's hands and his arms seem to be a little static right there, but we are going to correct that. And also we're gonna have different hand symbols for our friend George here. So let's just go into Photoshop. So what do? We click on our George body puppet right here, and then we are going to click on this Photoshop icon, and voila, we have our George Photoshop file open. Now we are going to make some adjustments to his body. All right, so we're not working on the head right now, so let's just clean this up. All right, and then we're going to collapse this right here. Okay, so right now we have George's body, the arm right and the arm left. What I'm going to do now is I am going to place each arm into a different folder. Okay, so I'm going to create a folder for the right arm, and I'm going to create a folder for the left arm. So just let me type this in. Okay, and now what I am going to do is just place them in their corresponding folder. Arm right in the arm right folder, arm left in the left folder. Okay, so here is what I am going to do right now. I am going to get rid of those hands. I'm going to place them on a layer by themselves, not the arm, the hand. So what I'm going to do is, let's work on our right arm first. You will see the significance of this when we go into our character animator. We're just gonna have this guy right here. We're gonna cut him out. Is that the right arm? Yes, no, this is the left arm. All right, this is the left arm right now. Okay, so we want to work on the right arm. So I'm gonna cut out the right hand. I'm gonna cut this. All right, just let me refine this a bit. Let me zoom in on that. Okay, and what I'm going to do right now, I'm just gonna paste my hand back to where it was. No, I'm gonna paste in place. Edit, be special, paste in place. Okay, I just replaced my hand right there. Okay. Now it's very essential, it's very important that I have this hand as a different layer right here. So I am going to call this hand 01. Okay. And what I am going to do is in fact, I'm going to call it hand right 01 because I'm going to do the same thing for the left. Okay. Hand right 01. Okay, and what I'm going to do, I'm going to place this guy in a folder by himself as well. So folder, this group, I'm going to call this right hand, or hand rights, I like to. Okay, hand right, and I'm going to place this hand right layer into the folder. Okay, all right, so what I'm going to do now, okay, if you notice, I'm just going to erase, just not erase, but hide my hand right now. I am going to replace that hand right with another, okay, another hand pose. I'm going to draw another hand pose right now. Okay, so I'm going to draw another hand pose right now. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to use my brush tool right here, and I am going to draw. Oh, my bad. I need to create a new layer right here. So my goodness. Okay, I'm going to create a new layer in the hand right folder. So I'm going to call this hand right 2. Okay, and what I'm going to do here, I'm just gonna draw in a different hand pose. What I'm going to do, I'm just probably have his hand open. Okay, so now we have, okay, another hand shape for our character here. So now we have 2 of them. So we have this one, and then we have that one here. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to create a 3rd one. Okay, I'm going to show our friend George's hand pointing. I'm going to show his hand pointing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create, in fact, I'm going to duplicate, okay, our hand 2 here. Is right now it's called hand 2 copy, but I am going to just rename it to 3. So we have hand right 3. And what I'm going to do, I am going to erase. Okay, let me get my erase tool right here. I'm going to erase. Oh, this one is still showing here. All right. So I'm going to erase these fingers here. Okay. Okay. So we have his pointed finger right here. Okay, so we can do as many hand shapes as we want. Okay, but our default shape here would be, I would keep it as this. Okay, so what I would do now is to do the same for the left hand, the left arm. But I am not going to draw these one by one. What I'm going to do is that I'm going to copy the hand right folder, and I'm going to paste it on under the arm left. And what I'm going to do, I'm just going to rename them. So let's just do that quickly. Okay, guys, so right now we are going to copy our hand right folder. All right, we're going to copy our hand right folder, make sure everything is all there. All right, we're going to copy that folder, edit here and copy, and then we are going to paste it in the arm left. Now before we do that, guys, we need to, in our arm left here, we need to get rid of the hand, because remember that we had our hand, okay, in the right hand folder as well. So we don't need this hand right now. Okay, so what we do now, let's paste that folder. Right now I'm just going to paste it in place. All right, so right now it's in the left. So what I'm going to do now, okay, I'm just going to change all the names to left. So hand right will change to hand left. Okay, so we have all our files renamed here. All right, so what we're going to do, all of our layers here are over each other in this in the hand left here. So what we want to do is that we want to transform this. So let's free transform this into transform, and then we're just going to flip. It's going to flip this horizontally. Okay, I'm going to flip it horizontally. And then what we're going to do is to just drag, make sure that the auto select is not checked, and then we're just going to drag everything here onto this side here in your hand lift section. Okay, with that being done, all we have to do, I like to have my first hand as my default hand, so I'm just gonna hide all these here, and I'm going to do the same for the right hand. Okay, so our character will be, although I'm noticing that this hand here, let me just drag this guy a little lower. Let me have my auto select. Let me just grab him. Okay, let's look at how the other hand is aligned. This one is okay. This one is okay. Okay, so here we have our character. We have our character's hands and different poses. We can have different poses if we want to. Fine, okay. Something I also want to change here, okay, is the character's eyelids. Right now, his you would see that he looks a little freaky with his eyes wide open like this. Okay, so sometimes I like to put some more character into the eyes. Okay, so what I would do, let's, the hand right here. We have so much going on with the body right now. Okay, so let's go back on the head. So what I will usually do over the eye, okay, I would create a folder. Now this is a layer. I would create a folder over the eye, and I would call this folder eyelid. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I am going to do some drawings of different eyelids right here. Okay, so in this folder I am going to create a layer. I'm going to create a layer, and I'm just going to call it lid 1. Okay, and let me start drawing. So I'm just gonna have him, it depends on how you want your drawing to be. I'm just gonna use this here, and I'm just gonna let me enlarge my brush. So I'm just gonna have this lid right here and another one right here. So this one would be lid 1. I'm going to duplicate this, gonna create a copy, and I'm gonna call this lid 2. Okay, and I'm just gonna have him a little squinting, look a bit like this. All right, and I'm going to create another layer on top here. All right, let me just hide all of these. Okay, so we can give him a little angry look right now. An angry look here. Okay, and I'll create a fourth one. Okay, and you could just have a bottom lid right here. All right. Okay, so our default would be just our eyes wide open. All right, or we can even add for his default eye. Okay, we just have just a little like this. Okay, so his eyes won't be so, he won't look so surprised all the time, you know. Okay, so I'll just keep it as this. Okay, so these are all the changes that I want to make for now. Okay, so guys, right now I'm just going to change this, the position of his hands a little bit. Okay, so in fact the whole arms. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go into his body. I find that it's too outstretched. All right, well, depending on how you want your character to look, but for me, all right, I want to just tilt the arms there a little bit, just bring this guy a little lower so it could look more natural. All right, so for his neutral look here, okay, we'll have the arms around here. Okay, this one would be here, and the left arm, okay, will Now I'm hoping that I have my, okay, all right, so we're just gonna transform this, and then we're just gonna tilt this guy around. Excellent. Okay, so he will have more of a natural pose. Okay, so let's head to Character Animator, make sure that we save our character so that these changes will show. All right, and then we're gonna go into our Character Animator. All right, perfect. Right now we are in rig mode right now, and his arms are down. Okay, so what we're gonna do now, we are going to make each arm. Right now you're seeing this yellow highlight around our character here. Okay, so what we are going to do, okay, we are going to make each arm independent. So let's see what's happening when we go into our record. All right, if you notice, when he moves here, the arm is stuck. The arm is stuck to the side of his body here. They're not independent, but we want our arms here to be independent. Okay, so what we do now, in the rig mode, we are going to highlight our right arm here, and then we're going to click on this empty box right here. When you click on the empty box, you will notice that there is a crown. All right, this means that our character here, the arm on our character, is independent. So let me just zoom in on that character. So we'll see that this yellow outline, okay, is around this whole arm area, including the parts that are hidden. Okay, so we will click on this little yellow circle right here, this one here, and then we will drag it. Notice that our character's body highlights yellow. The moment we drag it into this shoulder area, your character will turn green, meaning that this, okay, arm has been attached to the body. Okay, and we are going to do the same thing with the left arm. We are going to highlight it. We are going to check on this empty box here to make it independent, and we are going to drag this little yellow circle to the shoulder area. All right, so if you were to look at this here, okay, look at what's happening. The arm is no longer stuck to the body. You know, it moves, all right, on its own a bit in a way, all right, but it's still a bit robotic, all right. But we want to make sure we can move our arms, okay, with an elbow, with your elbow and your wrist movements and so on. So that's what we're gonna do now. So we're gonna add. Let's go back into rig mode, okay, and then we're going to add something called a stick tool in there. Let me zoom in on the arm so that you can see. So we have our arm right here. So we're gonna click on this tool, the stick tool, and then we're going to drag from the shoulder to the elbow, one stick, from the elbow to the wrist, another stick right there. Okay, and then at the bottom of this part here where you have your wrist, all right, you are going to add this tool, called the dragger tool. Click on this, and you're going to have your dragger tool right here. One click. Okay, so let's see what's really going on by using this. Right now here, we have our character here, and then the moment we click where our dragger tool is supposed to be, we will see that our character's arm is moving as we drag our dragger tool right there. If you notice that where we put our sticks from here to here and from here to here, we have an elbow being formed right there. Okay, and if you notice that the hand is stuck in one place, so what I'm going to do, I don't like this, so in the dragger section on your properties panel right now, it's set to hold in place right there. I am going to collapse this here, and I'm going to return to rest. So every time you drag it up, it will come down automatically. Okay, perfect. All right, so we're going to do the same for your right arm. Okay, so highlight our right arm here. We're going to put the sticks in here. Make sure your stick tool is selected. From shoulder to elbow, from elbow to wrist. On the wrist, we're going to add the dragger tool. And here we go. We're going to test in our record, and then we'll see what's happening here. All right, so you have that. So we have our guy right here, and he can move his hand and whatnot. Okay, so let us see how we can work with triggers. Let's go to our next tutorial in another part where we're gonna this tutorial went on a bit long, so we're gonna do the triggers in a next tutorial. So let's head to our another tutorial. Okay, so initially I was going to merge these two tutorials, but we're gonna have our triggers in a separate tutorial. So in our next tutorial, we're gonna talk about triggers. We're gonna put some triggers on our character. All right.